Hi, everybody. My name's Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you all. To everybody at YouTube, to everybody at Rumble, to anyone at Odyssey. We really appreciate you all, and we value you guys as our family. We really, really appreciate it. Who are we and what do we believe to somebody who would do this slowly and articulately? Jade's out. Eli.
We believe the law, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, that we should still keep them to this day. They were not abolished. We believe that our Creator's name is Yahuwah. It is not God. God was a title. His original name is Yahuwah. And we believe that His Son is Yahoshua. His name is not Jesus. There were no J's in Hebrew. His name is Yahoshua. And we believe that He died on the stake for our sins.
All right, that works. It's a first day. Does anybody have a joke? Oh, you got one, Jubs?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
What do you call a fish with a bow tie?
A fish with a bow tie. Ooh, anyone have any guesses on this? Fish with a bow tie. I don't know. What is it?
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated. Nice. All right. Well, I was going to tell you guys a rumor about the butter, but I thought we better not spread this. So there's a huge field of fans, right? The windmill fans, right? They're all out there. They're you remember the windmills like we had back in Oregon, like the giant, enormous things that were out there, the power ones. Okay, so one fan looks at the other fan and he goes, "What kind of music do you listen to?" The fan looks at him and goes, "I'm a huge metal fan." Yeah, all right. So let's continue. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you guys very, very much again for hanging out with us. We are part of the Yah Scriptures. Yah Scriptures is probably the greatest English translation of scriptures that you'll ever find anywhere. It is available completely free of charge in PDF form. It is also on eSword. We are at version 1.04 for eSword. If you guys do not have 1.04, it will be updated at some point today. It fixes a couple of errors that we found in the eSword app. We're also working on the Google app as well. It will all be completely free. Everything with Yah Scriptures is completely free. In fact, this is very, very close to free, even though it's $64. The cost on this thing is like $32, and it is almost a 3-inch spine. It is large print, 103 books. You will never find another large print book of this magnitude that carries all of these books. It is a treasure. It is one of these books that when they come in, we are definitely as a family going to get some ourselves. And as a family, we will purchase them ourselves because every bit of funds that comes into this, 100% of revenues goes completely into the prisoners that we are trying to get these books printed off and into the hands of our brothers and sisters in prisons. And we have a lot of friends there. We have a lot of people we've been working with, ministering with, talking to on a weekly basis, sending in emails, and they're very excited about this book. And you guys can be a part of this. This is one of these things that we can't do this thing without you guys, and we brought value to this by putting it for so cheap that we are able to get one book for every book you guys purchase. So these books will be available at the end of February, March. They are on their way from India right now. They're being printed up. Hopefully we will be getting a proof at some point soon. I don't know when that will be, probably inside of a month or so. And once we have this proof, then we will put it on film and show you guys exactly what this amazing scriptures looks like. And if you guys want to download this is absolutely, again, free of charge. It's the PDF, Yah Scriptures, and it's just a really, really good read. And so this is what we were reading right here. And prior to this, anyone give me a quick recap, and then I'm going to do a little basic recap because today it deals with Gideon's kids.
All right, so let's go to a couple chapters back. Gideon, he gets told that by Yahuwah to free his people. He ends up going destroying idols and stuff. They end up naming Yerubbaal, and that's a pagan name. And he ends up testing Yah and asking him to show him signs. He ends up showing him signs. He gets a whole bunch of people, about 30,000 people. He ends up weaning it down to 300 people, and they go torches, ram's horn, and clay jars. And they break the jars and blow the ram's horns, kill all the people of Midian. They go and slay them. Gideon tells his son to slay the king. He's a really young kid. The kid didn't do it, and Gideon went and did it himself. And they went and got like 300 gold rings, I think.
I don't remember how many gold rings.
There's a lot of gold rings.
Of gold rings.
A lot of gold rings. And they ended up, he made to a shoulder garment. All the people ended up worshiping him after he died. And so he is dead, and the people have gone back into sin.
All right, and so let's take a quick recap of Gideon's kids. You guys remember how many kids he had?
70.
70 sons. Okay, and only one of them was born of a concubine. And his concubine who was in Shechem also bore. I'm reading from 31 of last chapter. Because this is something that we all need to understand who this guy is, Abimelech. And so we have basically, 69 kids that are born from, what they would call legitimate or something, or then, I don't know if it's legitimate, but I don't know how it would be legitimate having 70 kids with that many wives, honestly. But he had, for whatever reason, this one was different, right? And so it talks simply about Abimelech right here. And so let's go into chapter 9 and let's read all about this. Everyone ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's good to see you have scriptures with me, Kane. Appreciate that, buddy. Eli? There's a moment of silence. That's Eli without a Bible, everybody. He done it again. It's another day. Eli, go grab a Bible, please, so I don't have to, crack you over the skull during this. That's right. Eli's taking one. Taking one over the skull. All right, here we go. Chapter 9. And Abimelech, son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem, to his mother's brothers, and spoke with them and all the clan of the house of his mother's father, saying, Please speak in the hearing of all the masters of Shechem. Which is better for you, that 70 men, all the sons of Jerubbaal, rule over you, or that one man rule over you? And you shall remember that I am your own flesh and blood. And his mother's brothers spoke all these words concerning him in the hearing of all the masters of Shechem. And their heart inclined towards Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother. Okay, who is this? Who is he dealing with right here?
The people of
his mother's
sons?
People, his mother's family, right? He's not dealing with all of Gideon's kids. He's dealing with basically this one kid of Gideon's split off and went to his family, the concubine's woman's family. 4. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver from the house of Baal Berith, with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless men, and they followed him. And he went to his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brothers, the 70 sons of Jerubbaal, on one stone. But Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left because he hid himself. And all the masters of Shechem gathered together, and all of Beth Millo, and they went and made Abimelech sovereign beside the terebinth tree at the post that was in Shechem. And they informed Jotham, and he went and stood on top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted his voice and cried out and said to them, Hear me, you masters of Shechem, and let Elohim hear you. The trees went forth to anoint a sovereign over them. And they said to the olive tree, Reign over us. And the olive tree said to them, Shall I leave my oil, with which they esteem my mighty ones and men, and go sway over trees? Then the tree said to the fig tree, Come, reign over us. And the fig tree said to them, Shall I leave my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to sway over trees? Then the trees said to the vine, Come, reign over us. And the vine said to them, Shall I leave my new wine, which rejoices mighty ones and men, and go to sway over trees? What does that mean, rejoices mighty ones? Are we talking what are we talking about? Are we talking like the mighty ones? Are we talking like false idols?
I don't think so, because the idols aren't drinking wine, and they're not getting drunk. So
well, the olive tree said the same thing, the olive tree said, which they esteem mighty ones and men. I don't know what this dude is talking about here.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it does say men afterwards, so maybe that is
I don't know.
Idols.
Yeah, I think the dude's dad's name was Jerubbaal, so I don't know. And the vine said to them, Shall I leave my new wine, which rejoices mighty ones and men, and go to sway over trees? Then all the trees said to the bramble, Come, reign over us. And the bramble said to the trees, If in truth you anoint me as sovereign over you, come, take shelter in my shade. But if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon. And now, if you have acted in truth and integrity, in appointing Abimelech to reign, and if you have acted well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done to him as his hands did to you, for my father fought for you and risked his life, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian. But you have risen up against my father's house today, and slew his 70 sons on one stone, and appointed Abimelech, the son of his female servant, to reign over the masters of Shechem, because he is your brother. If then you have acted in truth and integrity with Jerubbaal, and with his house this day, Then rejoice in Abimelech, and let him rejoice in you. What do you guys think about this whole, they killed him on one stone?
I mean,
what
they
do
probably
you-
just lined them up and just kept like.
Or they use like one knife and one knife. Like,
Are you talking beheadings, or do they lay them on the stone and stab
It
them?
sounds almost like a human sacrifice type thing. You know, they put them on like an altar and they kill them.
It did sound kind of like that, didn't it?
Yeah, and they just gotta line them up. And this is his family, right? This killing these.
This dude is his brother, so this is
But who's
a stepbrother.
Killing all the guys. That's his.
Well,
family.
so that's what they said, that he went and hired all this money, right? So he
Right.
went to his went to his mother's brothers, or went to his mother's family, and he
uncle
said,
and cousins.
and he said to them, "Would you rather have the 70 men, which were all Gideon's side, right? This woman had nothing to do with Gideon's side of the family,
Right.
So he went to that family, hired. They gave him 70 pieces of silver, went and hired all those people, the reckless and ruthless men, and they went and they lined up 70 brothers. Now, how many men do you think that would take to line up? I mean, these guys
That's a
were
lot. I mean, if they're
Gideon's kids had to be tough,
all, yeah,
right?
they're all fighters like him. They would take a lot of people to kill him. That was like that's 70 people. You know, you have to have 2 or 3 people per person, I think.
And to get them lined up on the stone, you're going to have to bind them, right? You're gonna have to capture them and then execute them. It is not, this is different than going out to war and they killed like all these people right here. This is a killing, a straight up killing. And like you said, Jade, maybe a sacrifice. I mean, I don't know what the stone is all about, but it just sounds grim. Okay, let's continue on. 20. But if not, let the fire come out from Abimelech and devour the masters of Shechem and Beth Milo, and let fire come out from the masters of Shechem and from Beth Milo and devour Abimelech. Now this is like the one of the youngsters, right, of the 70, the guy that got away. He's sitting up there yelling on the top of a mountain, yelling down to these guys, and all these people are hearing him. Right, he's at a distance where they're not able to get him, but he's obviously upset. This dude just killed off all of his family. You would obviously be very upset about this whole thing. 22. And Abimelech governed Yisrael 3 years, and Elohim sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the masters of Shechem. And the masters of Shechem acted treacherously against Abimelech, in order that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jeroboam might come, and their blood be laid on Abimelech their brother, who slew them, and on the masters of Shechem, who strengthened his hands to slay his brothers. And the masters of Shechem put men in ambush against him on the tops of the mountains, and they robbed all who passed by them along the way. And it was reported to Abimelech. And Gaal, son of Ebed, came with his brothers and passed over to Shechem. And the masters of Shechem put their trust in him, and went out into the fields and gathered their vineyards and trod out, and held a feast. And they went into the house of their mighty one, and ate and drank and cursed Abimelech. All right, so this is the mighty one. I think this is what they were talking about. I think they were talking about all the idols they couldn't get rid of. Right? This is the problem with Yisrael, is they cannot give up these idols. And I gotta tell you a little story, because one of our family members here, Carla, she was telling us a story how it was before she was ever in Torah, and her son stepped onto this mound of dirt, and her mother-in-law came out and started screaming, going off, saying that was their God. They had just stepped on their God, and she was just like furious, and Carla could not figure out why in the world this woman was so crazy. And that leads us to why do people like these false mighty ones? And down here in South America, Central South America, there's tons of Santeria, right? Chickens beware. There's no such thing as safe stuff. There's witch doctors down here. There's these people, there's literally witches that people will go to, and they have problems. When people have things that are stolen, they will go to the witches, and the witches will do some concoction or something, little chicken bones here and there, and it is very, very strange. So all of these people are into this, and it just shows us right here. Okay, where's that? 28. Anyways,
You're at 28. Yep.
thanks to those following along. Thank you, gentlemen. 1 out of 3 ain't bad, right? I guess the song goes. No, wait, that's 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I don't know. Okay, 28. And Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is Abimelech, and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, and is Zabal his officer? Serve the men of Camor, the father of Shechem. But why should we serve him?" All right, Camor, the father of Shechem. This dude's famous. How's he still around? What's going on this whole?
I don't know.
Didn't they get rid of they got rid of this dude back in the days of
This has to be another K Moore, and
He's
he
gotta be
named his
another?
son Shechem, dude. It must be like, dang, if your name's K
father
Moore, you have to name your son Shechem.
You think this is yet another dude?
It has to be, dude, because they're
Because
dead.
they killed it. Didn't all the kids of Jacob killed this guy,
Yeah,
right?
they're dead.
It was Simeon and
Levi.
Who went and owned these people, and according,
This is
especially
like-
the extracurricular
This is
books.
like 600, maybe 700 years later. No way.
So
Yeah,
this-
this is
Well,
different.
then
dude.
you just gotta go Shechem, Kmore, Shechem, Kmore, Shechem, Kmore. This guy keep naming their sons after the.
We know there's been at least hundreds of years because we had a couple 40-year periods where they were
Yeah.
at peace, and then they did some stuff. So yeah, they're either this dude is like rose from the dead, or some other dude named Shechem and his son. I don't know. There must be a popular name back then. All right, 29. If only this people were under my hand, then I would remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, increase your army and come out. And when Zebul, the governor of the city, heard the words of Gaal, son of Ebed, his displeasure burned. And he sent messengers to Abimelech by deceit, saying, see, Gaal, son of Ebed, and his brothers have come to Shechem, and see, they are besieging the city against you. And now, get up by night, you and the people who are with you, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be as soon as the sun is up in the morning, then rise early and rush upon the city. And see, when he and the people who are with him come out against you, you shall do to them as your hand finds to do. This is like some evil dude. It's like, you do what your hand finds to do. Eli, what verse are we on?
We are
Eli had his eyes closed and he was like almost nodded out. I caught him here. He has no idea.
You
He's
mean
not
Sonny?
burned.
we're on 34.
Yeah, you're lucky you could sit there and scan that. You're lucky you've read this Bible over and over and over because you know where we're at. 34. And Abimelech and all the people who were with him rose up by night and laid in wait against Shechem in 4 companies. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the city gate, and Abimelech and the people who were with him rose from lying in wait. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, see, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains. But Zebul said to him, you are seeing the shadows of the mountains like men. And Gaal spoke again and said, see, people are coming down from the high part of the land, and another company is coming from the diviner's terebinth tree. And Zebul said to him, now where is your mouth with which you said, who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Are not these the people whom you despised? I beg you, go out and fight them now. So Gaal went out, leading the masters of Shechem, and fought Abimelech. And Abimelech pursued him, and he fled from him, and many fell wounded up to the entrance of the gate. And Abimelech stayed at Arumah, and Zebul drove out Gaal and his brothers so that they would not dwell in Shechem. And it came to be the next day when the people went out into the field, and they informed Abimelech. And he took his people and divided them into 3 companies, and laid in wait in the field, and looked, and saw the people coming out of the city. And he rose up against them. He rose against them, and smote them. And Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood at the gate, at the entrance of the gate of the city. And the other 2 companies rushed upon all who were in the fields and smote them. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and captured the city and slew the people who were in it. And he broke down the city and sowed it with salt. What do you guys make of that, sowing it with salt? This dude's like,
I don't know what that means. You sow it with salt. Like, you throw salt on it?
yeah, I think he viciously took care of it. That's the only thing I can figure out. I read that this morning. I couldn't figure out what it meant when he sowed it with salt. I think if you sow salt, like enough salt in the ground, you'll kill like the plants and everything all around it. I don't know what he's talking
Maybe
about.
just throwing salt everywhere.
I don't know.
And that wouldn't make a lot of sense. I don't know, break down the city and soak with salt. Maybe like
Salt on the wounds.
salt. Yeah, maybe.
Something of the sort.
Maybe it's more like a metaphor thing.
It could be. 46. And all the masters of the tower of Shechem had heard that, and entered the stronghold of the house of El Berith. And it was reported to Abimelech that all the masters of the tower of Shechem were gathered together. So Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the people who were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a branch from the trees. And he took it and laid it on his shoulder. Then he said to the people who were with him, what you have seen me do, hurry, do as I have done. And all the people likewise cut down each one his own branch and followed Abimelech, and put them against the stronghold, and lit the stronghold on fire above them, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. Now,
Those things gotta be really dry.
that's where I was going with this whole thing. I'm like, we live in a jungle. We realize and we understand what wood is all about out here. Wet wood doesn't burn, right? You don't do it. It doesn't matter what kind of kindling you get under it. You have to completely dry the wood out to ever get something like that to burn. So more than likely, he went to the dead trees, cut the dead trees down, and said, "Follow me," with the dead brush. Is my thoughts on the whole thing. All right, 50. We got 48, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We're on 49.
49. And all the people likewise cut each one his own branch and followed Abimelech and put them against the stronghold and lit the stronghold on fire above them. And all the men of the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. And Abimelech then went to Thebez, and he encamped around Thebez, and he captured it. However, there was a strong tower in the city, and all the men and women and all the masters of the city fled there and shut themselves in and went up to the top of the tower. And Abimelech came to the tower and fought against it and approached the door of the tower to burn it with fire. But a certain woman dropped an upper millstone on the head of Abimelech and crushed his skull. He then immediately called the young man, his armor bearer, and said to him, "Draw your sword and kill me, lest they say of me, a woman killed him." And his young man thrust him through, and he died. And when the men of Yisrael saw that Abimelech was dead, each one went to his own place. Thus did Elohim repay the evil of Abimelech, which he had done to his father to slay his 70 brothers, and all the evil of the men of Shechem. Elohim turned back on their own heads, and the curse of Jotham, son of Yerubbal, came on them. All right, boys.
Alrighty, that's the end of him,
That's the end.
He got killed in like a strange way. Surprised he didn't die. How I guess the tower made him higher, maybe millstone was in the head, but it landed on his head. He should have probably died. But
yeah, that's not going to be pleasant.
He
doesn't matter if it's a rock or it matters if it's a giant millstone. Something cracks you in the skull from above.
It's kind of honor thing where it's like I can't lose to a girl.
Can't lose to a girl. Saul did that as well, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't a woman he got killed by.
Yeah, run me through so I'm not killed by a woman. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting stuff. All right, everybody. Well, we hope that you guys have a wonderful day. We thank you guys very, very much for being part of our family. We love you all, and we hope you have a blessed day.
All right, shalom.